Welcome back to Thrive America. I'm your host, Brent Brooks, and joined here with Susan Asher. We just had an engaging segment just prior to this, so if you get a chance, go back and check that out. At the end of our time here with Susan, she's going to reveal some tips and some tricks of things that you can do right now to utilize articles and information that you can send out to get kind of a PR campaign going for your business. Some things I'm learning with you, Susan, and learning about what it is that you do is you really help clients. You help them find a story, and you leverage that information with the resources that you know. And I got a question for you. With one of my friends, colleagues has a business, and one of the things that he's doing that I think is really neat is he's beginning to he sells doors and windows. He installs windows, and he's kind of told his team that if they sell 10 windows, they're going to work with Habitat for Humanity and do a house for Habitat for Humanity. And I'm curious, I mean, that to me sounds like a heartwarming story. How would you broach that situation? In other words, would you help him make that a story, or would you say, nah, that's just a story on its own, I'm not going to touch it? Or what would you do in that situation?
I would partner with Habitat for Humanity and let them know what we're doing for them and asking them when are they building, their next house. We'd like to come out there and be part of it. And however many people on the team could go out there, that would be the best. I mean, it's wonderful to donate a window, but even a better story and to contact the press. But I don't know how newsworthy that is, that somebody out there is donating a window, to a house. It's a nice thing, big deal. But if the whole team, I don't know how many people he's got working for him, or if for the past year or two, maybe there are only 3 people that work at the company. It could be a small company. But if for the past year, 2, 3, they go out there every week, month, and they help build homes for Habitat for Humanity, I would contact the newspapers, and I would contact local, I would contact more regional newspapers, I'd contact TV and radio and say, here's what we're doing. Habitat Humanity is building a home. I'd find out for who it is. For the Johnson family, who have so many children, who had jobs, they lost them in the bad economy. I'd find out what is that heartwarming story. Because we got to get into the details. You can't just say, oh, they're helping. No. Who are you helping? Mrs. Johnson. She's 80 years old. She lost this. She supports her 3 grandchildren. They live with her. And then we'd go out there and build that home. And I'd contact the newspapers, radio, TV. Here's what we're doing. We're going to build this house. I'd tell them about the Johnson family and stress that. Not my company, because nobody wants to hear about my window and door company. Stress her story and then say, and we are supplying the windows and the doors for this home, and we'll all be out there. And, we'd love for you to come film it. Mrs. Johnson, you could talk to her, you could see her grandkids, and you could talk to her daughter who went through chemotherapy. I don't know what the story is, but don't just say it's a heartwarming story. You show us it's heartwarming.
I just think that one of the things that I've realized about my own company and so forth is we can add certain elements really quickly, newsworthy elements, or even partner with some charities in creative ways. Not necessarily because I want to make a newsworthy story, but because it's selling with a purpose. But I think what I'm hearing from you is that if companies do that, there may be an angle that can create some extra buzz. I guess I would be nervous about selling out. I wouldn't want to feel like I'm doing something, partnering with a charity just to get PR. Does that sometimes come into play with you on your end? In other words, are you finding that working with companies that sometimes, no, Susan, I don't want to. This is something that I want to go under the radar, and you're kind of saying, no, this is a newsworthy story and can really benefit you. And does that ever? I'm just wondering.
It does happen. Whether I'm writing a bio on you or what, people go, I don't really want to talk about that. And I say, this is your time to brag.
Okay.
You know, when you're with your friends, don't brag. But when you have got a story and you want to get publicity for your company, take advantage of what you're doing out there. If you have a website and you say about Brent Brooks, you know, he is a director and is a producer for film. Well, you got to tell me that you worked on the XYZ film with this famous director. You got to say you worked with this famous actress. You need, you know, you might say, Susan, I don't really want to throw that out. Well, you got to give me some clout, some credibility. Otherwise, just knowing that you're Brent of this Blank Stage Productions, a film company, I don't care why. What's the big what?
But aren't I just going to get discovered one day?
You might. Maybe if you look like Brad Pitt, you might.
I thought I did. No, I think what I'm getting at is that I think there may be some companies, and this may be something. Sometimes you fall into this too, or people have where I'm just going to get discovered, or what I'm doing is so great, or whatever that someone's just going to discover me. But you made an interesting point in the break about something about 60% of the stories that we read today, they're in the newspapers or on the internet, are fueled by PR experts such as yourself.
Yeah,
Can you?
and actually, this comes from the Public Relations Society of America. I believe it was the Wall Street Journal that did the survey. I'm not sure, I can't remember. But it was something, I believe it was more than 60% of the news that we get, whether that's from radio, TV, newspapers, it comes from a PR person. So the story that was about the humanitarian story about the firefighter who got the cat out of the tree, some PR person said, oh, did you know that the Atlanta Fire Department came to Mrs. Jones's home and got her cat down? And I do work for the Atlanta Fire Department. That's how we got in there. Yeah.
So someone like, for example, Paris Hilton, she got discovered, right? Or
she did get discovered, but Paris Hilton had, thousands or probably millions of dollars, if not a million, thousands of dollars behind her in PR. There were people there guiding her along the way. She made it a point, and they made it a point to what? How did she get so famous?
To write articles.
No, they contacted the media every time she went out and partied and she was getting drunk or whatever she did. And now the PR people, she's done a 180. Used to be this wild woman in these, very promiscuous outfits. Now, if you'll see her, she's more reserved, like Nicole Richie. I've gotten married now. Now I'm a perfect lady. I used to be obnoxious and go to people's homes and say rude things, but now I'm a perfect lady. She didn't just wake up one day and become a perfect lady overnight. There's somebody saying, here's the story. Okay, now we got to go in this direction. You were doing this show with Paris Hilton. Y'all don't really want to do it now. There's some rift there. We got to keep you in the spotlight. Here's what we got to do.
So in the entertainment world, it's fascinating to me that people aren't just strictly discovered. They're kind of manufactured by a team of experts such as yourself, which is true, I think, for the business owners that are watching this who would benefit from just a little press. We'll be right back with Susan as she teaches me how to become a perfect guy out there in the press.